Hello, and welcome back to What is Syris reading this week? This is week 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33, I think. 30, I know it's in the 30s now because last week I was going to film. I filmed for a little bit, but then it just shut down. So I've condensed the last 5-6 weeks into one video. It's going to be a long one. Here we go. First up, Wonder Woman, Amazon's Attacked. This is volume 7 of the DC Rebirth run. So this one starts off with this Silver Swan story, which was, I really enjoyed the Silver Swan story. I thought she was a cool character. But the other one was Darkseid attacking, and the Amazon's trying to fight him off, and that was a little lackluster. First one's good, second part's meh. So this book's like a 5 out of 10 because, half good, half bad, whatever. It's about a 5. All right, next up is all from the same series. It's X-Men Gold. We got 1, 4, 5, 6. So X-Men Gold number 1. So let's reestablish the X-Men Gold team, which is Old Man Logan, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and what's her name? Scott Summer, and Jean Grey's kid from the future. That was Rachel Summer. Rachel. It's them. So this involves new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, like a racist politician towards mutants, and a new Sentinel. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men. They're starting to grow on me, but I personally don't like the X-Men all that much. This book's really good. I would recommend this. And I do recommend this, so read X-Men Gold if you see it. And 1 second, I realized that I read X-Men Gold a little later in the week that I'm going to grab and just do now because it doesn't make sense not to do that. Oh, it's volume 7. Perfect. All right. So, X-Men Gold volume 4, The Negative Zone War. So, this one involves one of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants guys. I didn't say this before. 9.5 out of 10. Pick this up. This one involves one of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutant guys, and his turns out he's not a mutant, he's like a god thing, and then they go into the negative zone and fight him. It's really fun. That's essentially what you can say about the X-Men Gold series, is it's a really fun, good story. Do I recommend them? Yeah. Do I recommend it for your diehard X-Men fan? Probably not. It's more of a getting into X-Men. So, solid 8 out of 10 for this one. X-Men Gold Volume 5, Cruel and Unusual. So this one involves the X-Men getting arrested and what they're doing in jail. So you got what they're doing in jail and how they're surviving, what they do to get out. It's a fun story. So I'm going to drink water through this. Stay hydrated. So it's what they're doing to stay in and out of jail, or stay out of jail, but they're in it because they attacked the politician and, it kind of went down from there. So it's a jail with all their villains that they've thrown away or thrown in jail. So, they don't like them, obviously. And then at the end of this one, leads directly into the next one. This one's another 9 out of 10. And then it goes X-Men Gold Volume 6, Till Death Do Us Part, the marriage of Kitty Pryde and Colossus. But will it work out? You gotta read to find out. I'm not spoiling anything. Read this book. It's a solid 9.5 out of 10. I'm not going to say anything more because you need to read it. All right, final for the X-Men Gold train, I think. Yes, last X-Men Gold is X-Men Gold Volume 7, God War. So this involves Storm going back to her home country. I don't remember the exact place. Shoot. The Kenyan village that once worshipped her as a goddess. And there's a new god in town that's trying to take over her role. And some people obviously still believe in her. But what's this new god's plan? What's he plotting? What's he going to do? And that's the whole story, essentially. But then the last portion is this girl wanting to meet Storm, and it's called Why I Love the X-Men. And that's a little fun story. And then, where is it? Hold on. The ending of this story is a tribute to Oh. Where is it? What? Don't. I swear it was in here. It might have been in an earlier issue in it. But it's the guy signing off because he's leaving X-Men Gold. And it's a cute little story there where he's signing off and he's saying goodbye and how he enjoyed writing and how he's always grown up with X-Men. And that's a cool little story, so I recommend that. This book's another good one. Really enjoy like the mythological aspect with the gods and goddesses. Solid 9 out of 10. Next up is Zatanna and the House of Secrets. This is one of the DC graphic novels for kids. I really enjoy these because you can knock them out in about like 20-30 minutes and they're little good stories. So this is Zatanna and she's living in the House of Secrets with her dad Zatara. And there's this people trying to take it over because Zatanna doesn't think her dad's magic, but he actually is. So this is her like finding out her dad's magic, how she can use the magic, and how she can save the house. It's a good story. I recommend it. It's like, it's a cute little story. Only it's not too big. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty good. Next up, Shadow of the Batgirl. So this one is Cassandra Cain as a teenage assassin. And, she obviously isn't Batgirl yet because she's a teenage assassin following what her mom asked her to do. But as she's going to kill a kid, she's going to kill someone, not a kid. He mentions that he has a kid and she's like messed up by it and just darts. So this is her becoming a hero and eventually fighting her mom. She meets like Barbara Gordon, Jackie Fujikawa Yoneyama. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that. I don't know if she's an established character in the, Batman canon universe, but she isn't here and she's like a little shop owner. This book's good. I like it. Another DC graphic novel, obviously. It's just, these are so good. If you ever see these, pick them up. They're like the Jessica Cruz, Superman, this one, Zatanna, just all those are great. I always recommend these. This one's another 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. Next up, Wonder Woman, the enemy of both sides. This book's huge. Like literally, it's double the size. If I were to take the next 3 graphic novels that I have, it's the size of this one book. And is it worth it? No. The first story where she's like having to fight some of the other Amazonians, that one was I didn't really like that. But then it's got Wonder Woman 75th anniversary and Justice League Giant number 1 and 2, and those were good. So if it was like from, oh wait, sorry. Yeah, if it was like this point onward, it'd be great. But before that, it was meh. So about half the book is good, half it's not. For those ones where I find half of it great, half of it not, I'll give it a 5 because it's, in between. But really, if you see this book, pick it up just to read the last half. Don't worry about the front half, unless you're like a diehard Wonder Woman fan. But, Next up, Fantastic Four, Thing versus Immortal Hulk. I don't like the Fantastic Four. That's just my personal opinion. I find them a little bland and boring. Reed Richards is not the smartest man in Marvel anymore, clearly, and the Thing has been upstaged 1,000 times by everyone else. Human Torch he's a fire guy, that's about it. That's not really that impressive. Invisible Woman could go invisible. So can everyone if you ignore them for long enough, But it takes a special thing to get me to like the Fantastic Four. And as I was reading this, I was like, this is really good. I enjoy this. And then I realized who the writer is. None other than Dan Slott. No wonder it's so great. Dan Slott is an amazing writer. If you see anything Dan Slott, read it. Oh, I love Dan Slott so much. He's so good. He wrote my favorite Spider-Man run of all time. And So this one is the Thing on a honeymoon and the Immortal Hulk attacks him. For what reason? Read it to find out, because I'm not going to spoil this book because you need to read Dan Slott. Dan Slott's amazing. Oh, I love Dan Slott. Then it's got another story of him, like, the, it's something where, like, the taxes are going up in this city just because the Fantastic Four are there. So the thing's like, well, let me help with that. So, yeah, he helps, essentially. And, they're just so good. It's Dan Slott. You can't go wrong with it. If you see anything with Dan Slott's name on it, pick it up because you know it's going to be great. Dan Slott is a terrific writer, one I fully recommend, and one if you ever see any of his work, just pick it up. Trust me. So that's why I give this probably one of my rare and few 10 out of 10s. Dan Slott's writing. Next up, Black Cat, all dressed up. So this involves Black Cat breaking into a Stark Tech place to get, I don't remember if it was like some key or activator or something she needed. So that first one, she gets like a Iron Man armor, and it's a really fun little story. It's really like, all in all, I think 4 issues in here, so it's really thin. One of them being a free comic book day one. It's only half the free comic book day, so it's not too much. But this book is wordy. Like, at some points it gets wordy, but it's good. And it also has annual number 1, which is her and Spider-Man helping stop this, like, mafia family marriage. And also it has Free Comic Book Day 2020, Spider-Man and Venom, that same story that I've seen, that I'm pretty sure you've seen 100 times, where she stops the Vulture by putting the fear toxin in him, and at the end, she's like, oh, I'm pretty sure the Vulture's fine. And he's like, spiders that eat birds, cats and spiders that eat birds. That I could go without. The other things were fine. A little wordy at some points. Besides that, I thought it was good. So I give it a 8 out of 10. Probably pick it up. It's good. All right. All New Ultimates. Power for Power. So this is the All New Ultimates who, it's Cloak Dagger, Miles, Bombshell, Jessica Drew, and Kitty Pryde. So this is after Death of Ultimate Spider-Man, before the incursions that set them into the main continuity. Or set Miles in the main continuity. The rest of these characters are dead, so don't worry about them. Or maybe not, because Venom Beyond had the Maker going into the Ultimate Universe, and that was like burning, so we don't know if that's destroyed or not. We need more confirmation on that. Donny Cates, get to that. But so this is them, and they're fighting the Serpent Society. And they're actually, believe it or not, an actual challenge for once. Holy crap, the Serpent Society a danger to people? So, it's really a good story. It's really wordy, though. Just like one of these pages, it's super wordy. Sure, I get maybe you like wordy because it gives a lot of exposition. I personally don't. If I want to read a comic, I don't want to read a novel, But all in all, it's good. A little wordy for my taste, so I give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe pick it up. If you like to not read that much, don't pick it up. If you like to read that much, pick it up. But it's a good story. Do I even need to say anything? It's Chip Zdarsky's Spider-Man. 10. It's 10. Okay. So it's What If, because they started bringing back What If. You can see there's the new What If logo there. And that's What If Spider-Man never left bonded with Venom. This book has some weird turns, especially like issue 4 and 5, completely off the rails. Because, it's Spider-Man going crazy, killing people. And that's like the first 3 issues, like he kills Hobgoblin, and he's just like, protecting himself essentially, so he just kills any villain that stands in his way, really. JJJ. But after the 3rd issue, he frees himself of Venom. Then what's the other 2 issues? Dude, it's so good. Just read that. Oh my god, it's Zdarsky. It's Zdarsky. That's how you describe it, Zdarsky. The art's beautiful. The writing's amazing. Just like look at some of this art. That's just, oh. Do I recommend this? Yes. Should you read it? Yes. 10 out of 10. Nothing more to say. Great. Love it. All right, next up. XMen XClub. This book's weird, man. So it's like Danger is acting weird, who's this like female robot human thing, and there's people trying to help it. Dr. Nemesis, Madison Jeffers, Kavita Rayo, they're trying to help Danger, but it's like some psychic interference, and there's also a Nazi from alternate dimensions that can... This book's weird, and let me just show you the final page. It's a dude making out with a robot, so... Yeah, that's... it's wordy. It's a book. What can I say about it? Do I recommend it? Probably not. If you want to get weirded out, it's a good book. If not, don't really pick it up. Like five, I guess. All right. We got two Captain Americas. They're from two different runs, though. First up is Captain America, the Tomorrow Soldier. So this is after Steve loses the super soldier serum and becomes an old man. Armanzola attacks, and Armanzola's daughter from Castaway in Dimension Z, who's also like a pseudo-science project that's not really his daughter. But then Ian Rogers is also there, who's a pseudo-science project that's kind of like Captain America's son because he raised him. And you read Castaway in Dimension Z to understand this run. But he's trying to invade New York, knowing that Captain America's at his weakest, and he's like taking commands from Red Skull. But the world needs a Captain America. Who's going to be Captain America? Last issue is the new Captain America. If you've watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, or you've read, any comic past this run, then you know who the new Captain America is. It's pretty evident. But so, yeah, all in all, this book was okay, I guess. I'm not a huge Captain America fan. I mean, I find him kind of boring at some points. But all in all, it's like a 7 out of 10, maybe? It's pretty decent, I guess. Next up, Captain America, Captain of Nothing. Well, who's drawing that cover art if it's none other than, oh my gosh, what's his name? His art's so beautiful. Alex Ross, baby. Oh, Alex Ross is such a good artist. Sadly, he doesn't draw the inside art. But this is Captain America in a jail. They sure love to throw their heroes in jail at some point. X-Men Gold again. But so, Captain America in a jail, ran by Baron von Strucker, who gave that dude, he's a Nazi. Why would you give him the ability to run a jail? But so, he's using cruel and unusual tactics. And then there's, I think they're called the Daughters of Liberty, trying to break him out. And that's all in all, it's an okay story. It's playing into Captain America thing again. I'm not a huge fan of it. I read the story and it's kind of like, it's all right. Not a huge fan. I like the Alex Ross covers. 5 out of 10. Maybe. I don't know. I ain't feeling it. All right, next up we got 2 Jessica Jones. Love Jessica Jones. First up is Volume 2. So this is Jessica Jones is going to this small town where this girl's been missing. And so they suspect it to be the father. A lot of people are thinking it's the father. It's not the father, trust me. But so it's a good little story. I enjoy it. It's Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis is a good writer. The first story was good, and the second one was where Jessica Jones goes on a date with Ant-Man. And Jessica Jones and Ant-Man is such a good relationship. Don't get me wrong, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones is great, but Ant-Man and Jessica Jones in this run was just such a good relationship that I wish would have lasted longer. But, beggars can't be choosers. You already got enough of a good run. But Jessica Jones, you need to read all 4 of these original series because this is just so good. Jessica Jones is just so good, man. Just read it, good. It's so good. So this one, solid 9 out of 10. Okay, next up, Jessica Jones Volume 4. Let's get a little serious here. This book is a very important and influential book because it it tells the backstory of Jessica Jones, why she stopped being a hero, and what Purple Man did to her. And the fact that they went there and actually told the story and didn't hold back proves that you can be a good writer and tell a convincing and heartwarming felt story. That's why Bendis is so great, amazing. This book it's just so good. And the fact that there are vile people like Purple Man in the world, it's kind of disgusting, but, you know. But do I recommend this book full-hearted? Yes. 11 out of 10. Read it. It's important. All right. Invincible Iron Man, Volume 2, Choices. Riri starts working at Stark Tech. Yeah. Or not working, she gets Stark's secret laboratory. Also, she becomes the ruler of Latveria. That sure went uphill after Jessica Jones, but whew. Yeah, she becomes the ruler of Latveria. Because I think Dr. Doom's going off being the infamous Iron Man at the moment. So she's the ruler of Latveria. That's pretty cool, man. It's a good story. It's really wordy. That was the one thing I could say about the the Invincible Iron Man run, is it's really wordy. Just like look at one of these pages. Which is okay. I felt like it definitely deserved it in this because Riri was kind of a new character. They're trying to introduce her. You know, like for Miles' first appearance, it was kind of wordy. So I feel like they had some growing room for her. So I feel like it was good. Still gonna knock it some points for being wordy. I can't really claim I don't like wordiness and then take a book that's wordy and give it 100% good job. But still, it's really good. So I give it a 8 out of 10. You know, it's pretty good. Next up, Captain Marvel, The New World. I was disappointed by this book. I read Captain Marvel Volume 3, The Last Avenger, and that book was really good. It was so good. I loved it so much. This one was not The Last Avenger or anything close to that skill of writing. It was a bland, untasteful story about Captain Marvel going to the future. And it's a sequel to Captain Marvel The End, which maybe if I would have read that, it would have given me a little more context. But still, it didn't feel like anything. I wasn't impressed. I was bored. Would rather have read something else. So, all in all, this is a disappointment, to me at least. I hope the next ones are better. I should probably read the next one. So I give it a 2 out of 10, you know. Really disappointing. So, next up we got 2 Superman action comics. The first one being Men of Steel. So this one is, so Superman's in a new world now after the events of Doomsday Clock. And in this world, that Superman's dead. So the new Superman came over and is like that Superman. But Lex Luthor's also trying to fill in as Superman, because he doesn't trust the new Superman. No one really does. But John Kent's also here, Jonathan Kent. But there's also like a, what's his face? It's, Clark Kent. But who's Clark Kent and who's Superman? You know, it's weird. But so this guy called the God Killer, not the God Butcher, can't have copyright over here, haha. The God Killer says that Lex is going to become the ruler of Apocalypse. And he's going to destroy the Earth. Because Lex has a mother box, which you know is a classic thing of Apocalypse. And Superman, and the whole story is essentially Superman on this like higher, holier than thou pedestal, like, I can't let you kill Lex, that's not allowed. That was okay, I guess. I like the character of the God Killer. He was cool. But the whole story was kind of meh. So one little character doesn't save the whole story, so that's why I'm giving this book a 7 out of 10. There we go. Alright, Superman Action Comics, The New World. So this was essentially Superman, but all his villains attacked. It's like Cyborg Superman. Shoot, hold on, it says here. I'm sorry, just give me a second. Metallo-Mongol, Eradicator, Cyborg Superman, and they get General Zod. And this is essentially a big smash up of like the Superman family versus this kind of evil Superman family. And it's all, that's a fun story. That's one I recommend. This is a good one. It follows the events of Superman Reborn, where it's revealed that Clark Kent was Mr. Mxyzptlk, and that was an okay story. This one's good though. This one I recommend. This one is a 9 out of 10. Pick that up if you see it. It's really fun. Next up, Sensational Wonder Woman. This was, I think, for Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary. Yeah, it's essentially giant-sized Wonder Woman stories, but they're collected. It's a bunch of short stories, and they're all so much fun. This is a 9.5 out of 10. It's just a bunch of short stories that are great. I love it. Would recommend. Read it. Sorry, it's just like a slide of books I've reviewed. Next up, Batman Private Case Book. So this is some old short stories as well. I like short story collections. It's got Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, The Wonderland Gang, Suit of Sorrow, Opening Night, Curtains, Riddle Unanswered, and Kirit Ro Tarot, which is Trick or Treat backwards. Curtains and Opening Night is a two-part with the new ventriloquist, but the rest are their own individual stories. It also kind of starts a relationship between Zatanna and Batman, which I don't know if that ever went anywhere. If you let me know, please drop it in the comments below. Thank you. But that's an interesting relationship. I'd like to see that go somewhere at some point. This is a good book. I really enjoyed it. It's it's just like Batman's case files. Like he went home and was like, this is what happened tonight. And that's essentially what this is. This is just him going like, tonight I fought Ra's al Ghul. Because why not? That's fun. Batman short stories are always fun. So that's why this book's another 9 out of 10. Pretty good. Next up, Deadpool. All good things. This is the death of Deadpool. Not the death of Wade Wilson, though. This leads into Secret Wars, and it's Deadpool essentially... Well, the first part's Deadpool working with a secret organization to try and stop this foreign country, but then he realizes, wait, this foreign country isn't bad. This organization is. I gotta stop them. Then the second part is him fighting Ultimatum, which is run by Flag Smasher, who they've had like a big feud in Dugan's run, Dugan and Mark Waid's run. So, it's kind of like the end of that thing. And Deadpool essentially is like, Deadpool's dead, so Wade Wilson can live and be with his family. And then it also has the lost comic of where Deadpool got the Infinity Gauntlet and made a comedy club for one whole night. That was definitely a real comic. Don't check it. It was real from the 70s. I like Deadpool. Dugan's run's so good. I give it a 9 out of 10. Dugan's a great writer. Next up, Amazing X-Men, Once in a Future Juggernaut. As I've said, I'm not a fan of the X-Men. I don't know why, but X-Men's been really good recently. Maybe I was a little too harsh on it when I first reviewed it. I think I'm starting to like the X-Men. You can quote me on that. Syris may like the X-Men. You're welcome. There's a headline for you. So, this is... hold on, I'm sorry. Juggernaut, the Gem of Syrax reappeared, and a bunch of people are trying to get it. Like Colossus and Marco Kane, is that guy's name? The Unstoppable Juggernaut? Yes. Kane Marco. They're trying to get it because, they're like having a psychic-ish thing where this Gem of Syrax like, I want you guys back. But the person that does wind up getting it is the living pyramid or living... It's the living something. He is the living monolith, and that's what he looks like when he becomes Juggernaut. But then, obviously that's not going to stick around because that seems super overpowered. But then they've got the new Juggernaut design, which is this. And I like that design. That design is awesome. So this book's great. I like the book. I think you'll like it, because essentially just restarting Juggernaut. That's why I give it a 9 out of 10. Next up, Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77. So this is, the main villain of this is Ra's al Ghul. So it's split into two parts. One is the present, where Wonder Woman comes over to try and stop Ra's al Ghul. The next is the future, where Batman's retired after killing the Joker at the end of Batman 66. And Wonder Woman... Oh, wait. How does this one go? No, she comes over in the future, and then the first part they go to her island. So this is, obviously the story of Batman 66 meeting Wonder Woman 77. It's a fun little story. Batman 66 is always great. Batman 66 is so funny and good. That's why I recommend Batman 66. If you find it, pick it up and read it. 9 out of 10. This book is something else. When I tell you that I love this book with my full heart, this book is beautiful. So it's not a Daredevil book. It may be called Daredevil Redemption, but it's a Matt Murdock book. So it takes place 10 years in the past, where Daredevil is trying to convince this town that this kid's not guilty of a boy's murder. And then, I'm just not going to say anything more, because if I keep talking about it, I'll gush and I'll spoil it, and I want you guys to read it. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Just read this book, please. If not for me, for you. You're doing yourself an injustice by not reading this book. That's why I give it a 11 out of 10. Pick this book up. Great, awesome, amazing. 12 out of 10, 100 out of 10. Just, oh, it's so beautiful. Next up, one of the first Black Label books, Batman Damned. So this involves the Joker being dead. And Batman's going through like a drug trip thing where he's trying to remember if he killed the Joker or if someone else killed the Joker. He's not 100% sure. The art's really good in this book. The art's amazing in this. This was one that was controversial because you would see Batman's penis in one part. There's like this death girl. John Constantine's there. It's a weird book, but it's enjoyable. I found it fun to read. It's got a cool inside cover. It's pretty good. If you see it, probably pick it up. I wouldn't buy it for $30. I'd pick it up at the library to read it because it's not the best, but it's semi-decent. So, I mean, like, 8 out of 10, it's pretty good. Captain America, The Promised Land. So this is like the far future, 2314. So this is the future, and it's Captain America's grandson and the grandson's kid. So Captain America's grandson, great-grandson. The great-grandson is ill, so, Captain America's grandson is trying to save him. And Jack Rogers is the kid, or the guy's name. I'm just going to refer to him as Jack Rogers. So Jack Rogers is trying to save his kid, and obviously, he's trying to do whatever. But it could also lead him down a very dark path that may or may not involve the Red Skull and discovering a Kree conspiracy. Because that makes sense. It's a good book, though. I enjoyed it. It's only like 701, 702, 703. It's only 4 issues long. It's really short. Like, it's super thin. Compared to, I don't know, Spider-Man Spider Shadow, this book's super thin. And that's probably what made it so good, because if it lasted too long, not that great. But since it didn't last too long, it was awesome. And also, it doesn't help that, like, if you look back here, half of the back is variant covers. This whole part's variant covers out of a book this big, so super short. Short, really good, 9 out of 10. Oh, shoot. All right, next up, Ultimate X-Men Volume 3. Or no, it's Ultimate Comics X-Men because Ultimate Comics is what it was rebranded to, and ugh. So this is Kitty Pryde and Jean Grey have two different ideas for like how the X-Men should be run. So there's kind of like two different school-ish things. And Jean Grey's getting fed up and attacking Kitty Pryde's because Jean Grey is a jerk. Like I've always said, I don't like Jean Grey. She's clearly been possessed enough times to go crazy, and she is not a good character. So she's like attacking Kitty Pryde's school. Kitty Pryde's like, why? We're not doing anything to you. She's like, I don't like you guys. Ah! It's just Jean Grey having like a little fit. That's what makes it so funny. It's a decent book, you know, I find it. It's fun. It's a fun little story. It's only like 29 to 33, so 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 5 issues. It can be a little wordy at some points, but besides that, I found it good. I don't know if it's a payoff for a, like Ultimate Comics X-Men build-up, but I liked it. So, you know, it's a solid 8 out of 10. Next up is Extraordinary X-Men X-Haven. So this is like